Check, check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me okay? Looks like we are live. How is everybody? Today we will be discussing Abby and Libby's murder out there in Delphi, Indiana. Really one of the most mysterious cases that I've ever been able to cover or that I've ever really looked into. And I think a lot of the mystery has to do with the way the investigation was handled. And of course, that video and the audio. Um, but if the investigation was conducted, I think, in a different way, um, I don't think all of this circus would have been going on, really. You know, they made us go down all these crazy rabbit holes, Anthony shots, all these different suspects, no real answers. Um, and the guy was right there under their nose. So I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe this was a thrill kill, you know, because we try to deal with facts and information and we try to trust the information that's being presented by law enforcement. But a lot of the stuff they were putting out really has nothing to do with the case. At least we can't tie it, right? So I have a feeling that they were clueless this entire time until they got help. When Doug Carter's saying things like, "Oh, we just need one piece," he's talking about the person coming forward and giving them the biggest piece of the puzzle. Because right, they just had all the corner pieces. That's it. Some of the edges, the easy pieces. So I think random killings, according to the FBI, are categorized along with thrill killers, from what I was able to see. So we're going to focus on that. Today we'll talk about thrill killers, what might motivate that. I did take some notes here from what experts were saying. So we'll take a look at those. And then I'm going to go through a whole line of examples of random killings and attacks, mostly on trails where they didn't even know their victims and the victims didn't know their attackers whatsoever. It was just a chance encounter. What's up, Mandy? Marbles Beach. V, good to see you. What is going on, guys? Happy Saturday. It's a good weekend so far. I don't know why, Marbles. That reminded me of Bart Simpson. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? What's up, Jamie? Same to you. Thank you. Bueller, as in Ferris. What's going on with you, Beach? Hey, Beth. Good to see you as always. Thank you, Beach. Appreciate that feedback. Sinbad, they lost the tip from Rick Allen. I can't wait to hear the details. Yeah, I mean, they should have had this thing locked up. If there's no Anthony shots, if there's no, conspiracy, and this is just some random killing, I mean, because everything I read, they say this is about power whenever there's a thrill kill. They do it because something in their life that they hold inside is eating at them. And this is their release. And usually they don't even talk about it. Robert, you think the son-in-law gets the reward? I don't know. Those are just rumors. We bring up rumors and then we discuss them. We don't spread them. That's why we say at the beginning, it's a rumor. We don't lie and say, oh, we have sources. That would be foolish. Unless you actually have a source, then, that's okay. Beach says, yeah, it fits the power and control type serial killer, which is what we're hoping isn't the case. More victims in the past. I mean, all the experts say that it's possible if he's responsible for this crime, and it could be why they said, hey, this is about power to you, because that's what a thrill kill is, trying to regain some kind of power. Hey, Colette. You know what? Today I'm having a great day. After an entire day of eating greens and kind of doing little exercises here and there and going on a walk and not drinking and not smoking, man, I woke up feeling great. Didn't even wake up my wife. She slept in and I went for a long walk with a big smile on my face. So yeah, I feel really good today. I might just need to change my lifestyle, you know? No big deal. Get to a certain age, I guess you got to change things around a little bit. What's going on, Julianne? Hey, Lorraine, what's up? Yep, it's all about control and power. Trying to regain some of that power. I heard a rumor that Paul Holes was consulted on October 2022, and suddenly the Rick Allen tip was found. Yeah, we covered that in a live stream. Shortly after Paul Holes visited down there, yeah, that's when these updates and the arrest of Richard Allen happened. And it could have been as simple as him walking in there and saying, well, this is what I would do first. If I were you, I would have somebody go back and just spend hours going over all of the old tips. And the Wabash search, even though it could have been Delphi related and tied to Keegan and the lady that duped him, doesn't mean it's related to the murders, right? It could have been a huge waste of time. And through that frustration, thinking that, hey man, we're grasping at this, we're spending all of the taxpayers' money on this. Some person that duped Keegan Klein who may or may not even be involved. So yeah, it could have been very much related to the Delphi case, but not related, if that makes sense. Could have just been a huge waste of time. And anybody responsible for wasting the time of investigators should be ashamed of themselves. People of Indiana should be upset about that. That's their hard-earned money being spent. Well, apparently I can have beans as long as it's not made with lard. Anything with like animal fat in it, I got to stay away from. But that's how I cook my beans. Julie says the coincidence of the timing between the Wabash search and arrest of Richard Allen has always stuck with me. I don't know. It could just be an example of their desperation. You know, they're at closing in on the 6-year mark, and they might have just been grasping at straws. But yeah, the timing. Trust me, I wouldn't be surprised if they said, "Hey, others were involved," and they targeted the girls, and even Anthony Schatz was somehow involved, if not Keegan Klein. But as online sleuths, which is not saying much, right? We're just guys who are doing their best to use their contacts and internet skills, right, to dig up dirt and to think outside the box. But we've been digging. Everybody's been digging. It doesn't mean that it's not there, right? The information tying certain people together, but we don't see it. It's not there. If you have it, I would like to see it. So we can't spend too much time on that, but we would be ridiculously it would be ridiculous of us to just ignore that possible connection. So I think it's good that we are looking at everything and we're just discussing it. We're not saying our theories are right. We're not saying we're going to solve the case. We're just having a discussion. It's a true crime discussion. Oh, that's awful. What's up, Inquisitive? And Truffles. Good to see you guys. Frank Meister in the building. CJK. Oh, I love green beans too. I'll eat a whole plate of green beans. Sinbad, what's up? I think law enforcement needed the Wabash River search. dead end to inspire them to start over and look at tips from day one. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the search was related to Delphi, and it was related to Keegan Klein and whoever this female was that duped him. But I also think that it was a waste. It could have been a waste of time. The timing, hey, who knows? I could be very wrong on this. And I try to do my best to deal with the facts. And I just don't have anything saying otherwise. So good point, Sinbad. Tend to agree with that. And we ran that down, we ran that Anthony Shots thing into the ground. We theorized, we speculated, we reached out to people that may know them. We looked for connections through their schooling, high school friends. I came up with nothing. I can't see anything online stating that anybody came up with anything. So we can't just continue to waste our time, right? So I think we should go ahead and entertain the idea that this could be completely random. Cowboy beans? Was that like some baked beans? Some ranch style? I like ranch style with my steak. What's up, V? Okay, so here's some of my notes. Experts say thrill killers are motivated by need to feel empowered, but they are not always loners or obviously disenfranchised members of a community. Even someone who appears to be successful can feel so powerless that they feel compelled to lash out and make a statement through murder. A person can appear outwardly successful to others, but for some reason, he or she may feel like a failure, said Jack Levin, director of the Brudnick Center on Conflict and Violence at Northeastern University. And this is a quote. Maybe they feel like they've fallen short of their goal. They don't feel like they're in control, and they erupt in a way that is some kind of sadistic thrill. The frightening thing is that some of them never talk about it. They never let you know it's coming. All right. So what I did was I pulled, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 cases, very similar to Delphi, and law enforcement's calling these random attacks. What's up, Anna? Good to see you. Okay, now this case of Lauren Heike happened here in my hometown. We're going to start there. Let me just get my screen up there for you guys. Hey, what's going on, Mike? How you doing? All right, let's get started, guys.
New details now on the suspect in the murder of Lauren Heike.
The 29-year-old woman was stabbed to death, left on a hiking trail in Phoenix. Police discovered her body near Scottsdale Road and Mayo Boulevard last Saturday morning. Police sharing new details on the case today. The autopsy on the 29-year-old revealed she was stabbed 15 times. She had self-defense wounds on her hands and arms. Evidence indicates that she was chased through a barbed wire fence. The motive is still unclear, and the murder weapon has not been recovered. As for the suspect, 22-year-old Zion Teasley, He lived about 1.5 miles away from where the murder occurred.
Teasley is now accused of first-degree murder in the case. He's being held on a $1 million cash bond. Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins us live now with what we've learned about him. And Lauren, he did have a criminal past. That's right. In fact, at one point facing up to 13 felonies. And that's certainly very jarring when you hear that at first. But once you start digging into the court records, you get a little bit more of a clearer picture. This essentially stemming from a string of robberies happening at 2 local Circle Ks where reportedly, according to court records, Teasley would take things like Google Play cards. He would also take tobacco and beer and even money from the cash register. And according to those records, he also served some time behind bars and was on probation at the time of his arrest.
The killer responsible for Lauren's death is in custody.
That suspect, say officers, is Zion William Teasley. His documents and records reveal a glimpse into the 22-year-old's criminal past, including previous charges for robbery, kidnapping, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Those stemming from a string of 7 thefts occurring repeatedly at 2 Circle Ks between the dates of May 15th to July 4th of 2020. Documents say Teasley would often inform clerks that he was committing a robbery, jumping behind counters and directing them to put hundreds of dollars on Google Play cards. On one occasion, documents say Teasley pointed a gun at a clerk. He was arrested shortly after. Teasley pled guilty and after taking a plea deal, served time from July 2021 until November 2022. In his pretrial services court report, he was only given a 2 for his new criminal activity score. As questions remain, a community is mourning the death of a young life taken too soon.
Our community can breathe easier knowing that this suspect will not be able to harm anyone else. But that does little to ease the pain for Lauren's family.
We'll watch it next.
This is not a time for celebration.
Yeah, that's very sophisticated right there, right, V? Like instead of taking the small amount of cash, he basically had them load up these Google Play cards with thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, you're only going to get a couple hundred out of the register. That to me, that's very sophisticated right there. Yeah, this guy seems like he was lashing out. Let's go to the press conference here that they're showing us a preview of. And this is very recent.
About the efforts that went on over the last several days to bring 22-year-old Zion William Teasley and place him under arrest last night. It was an incredible effort. So many people worked countless hours on this case, and this arrest came about because of just incredible partnerships that we have here at the Phoenix Police Department.
Yesterday, we were able to develop probable cause for the brutal murder of Lauren Heike, and at approximately 6 o'clock in the evening, her killer was taken into custody. A week ago, Lauren Heike went for a hike along the Reach 11 Trail in North Phoenix. Without provocation or pre-incident contact, Lauren was brutally attacked with a bladed object and died due to her injuries. I believe Lauren fought off her attacker and was able to flee, but her injuries were just too severe. Lauren's murderer encountered Lauren while she was walking east on Princess Drive. Lauren's murderer was walking east on Princess Drive while she was walking south on Allied Way. He followed Lauren onto the trail, and after a short time, he attacked her. We scoured the scene in the surrounding neighborhood. We collected several items of evidence and several hours of video. As a result, we were able to develop a forensic profile on our suspect, additional images identifying our suspect, cell tower evidence placing him in the immediate area.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, Kristen, welcome. We have a sponsor today. Thank you, Mike. Showing that love. It means a lot to me, guys. Can't do this without you.
And other factors. Our suspect was quickly located in an apartment not far from the scene, and during the service of a search warrant, he was taken into custody. The suspect was interviewed and later booked for the murder of Lauren Heike. Our job is not finished, and our teams will be working in the coming days and weeks to gather and analyze additional evidence to support the prosecution. Like the chief, I ask our community to pray for the family of Lauren Heike as they travel the road ahead without Lauren by their side.
Whistleblower, the guy in Arizona, was obsessed with her. Didn't he say he wanted to be her? That's not what I found. The latest news is it was completely random. That he was just walking by and seen her going into the trail and decided to follow her. He's just a career criminal. Just a bad guy. This one's a little bit different, but they're 100% sure that this one is random. But I'm sure these people know each other. But this is I added this one only because we have a strange crime scene and the mental issues that Richard Allen is claiming to have right now. We could be dealing with something like this, right? You know, they were unable to determine during the Delphi crime scene, going over the Delphi crime scene, really what the motive was, you know? And they thought they were going to catch this guy right away. I'm assuming that's because, hey, this guy's local and it may not be motivated. Might just be somebody who comes out on the trails. Richard Allen. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about senseless. Okay, so this is the case of John Joseph Stevens and Michelle Karen Mishkin.
When she arrived, observed our offender on top of the victim, our male victim, who was laying on the driveway leading into the garage. She immediately closed the gap between herself and that fight and deployed her taser. When she got there, she realized that the offender was actually biting the victim in the face and causing what turned out to be some substantial trauma to his face from bite marks. She deployed her taser. She used her taser, shot the suspect with the taser. It did not work. She took a hold of him and tried to pull him off, but he was exhibiting abnormal levels of strength.
Despicable.
Within a few minutes, our second deputy arrived. It was a two deputy unit, and they got out and began immediately assisting her. Nothing was working. They were using all the force that they were able to muster physically. After several minutes, that fight finally ended, and they were able to overpower the suspect and take him into custody. The male victim did expire on the scene and was not transported. Excuse me. The deputies then went inside the garage and found the dead male's wife, and she was also deceased.
So this dude, he just lost his mind. He had no qualms with these people. There was no quarrel. He just lost it. First people he could see, he went after. Here's some details, more details from that case. A 19-year-old student fatally stabbed a couple in their garage in Florida Monday night and was biting the dead man's face when officers subdued him. Police believe Florida State University student Austin Harif attacked the couple at random shortly before 9:20 p.m. using weapons of opportunity. He also wounded a neighbor who attempted to intervene. Martin County Sheriff William Snyder told reporters at a press conference. That's what we just watched. It wasn't the entire thing. The sheriff's office responded to the home in Tequista after a neighbor called 911, and a deputy found Harif on top of the male victim's body in the driveway, biting off pieces of the victim's face, Snyder said. This is in quotes. It's an inexplicable, Snyder said. One of the first things we try to do at a crime scene is try to understand the motive of the offender, because it is the motive of the offender that gets us going in the right direction. In this case, we can't establish a motive. That sounds very familiar, right? Where have we heard that before? So we might be dealing with a random, whether it's a thrill kill or whether he lost his mind. That could be what we are looking at. Here is a photograph I grabbed of the victims. Two beautiful people. And if this was random, I mean, you could never see it coming. Guarantee I'd get along with these people. You know how I know that? This right here. Even though I don't vape much. You can tell these folks are chill, healthy, happy, good looking, both of them. I mean, just imagine being in your garage, normal day, you see your neighbor walking over, and he just kills you. There is no, how are you going to find a motive for that? So let's say cops didn't come and he got away. They're going to be looking at the crime scene and they're going to have no clue it's the neighbor across the street. And what if he goes home and snaps out of it? He's like, oh my God, I'm covered in blood. And then he goes outside and he sees the crime scene. The death of Kelsey Smith in Overland Park, the creep in the Target parking lot followed her in and out and then kidnapped her and killed her. She was 18. Was that random? So their neighbor walked across the street. He was completely mad at that moment, completely out of his mind. And when the cops showed up to his garage, he was biting this man's face here. Basically taking chunks. Yeah, we covered this case in the past momentarily. Yeah, and we can look further into any of these at another time as well. He got off. Oh yeah, I remember that. Bath salts, people were like turning into zombies. That was creepy. Did you guys ever see that video of the guy who was in the hospital and he was like bent back? And he was shot in the face and he was like talking all, he sounded like he was like a demon or something. Fucking crazy. See if I can find that. Oh yeah, here it is. Give me a moment. This is like loading up. It's probably gonna have a some kind of ad on it. Okay, there it is. So we'll let that ad play and I'll show you the video I'm referring to. I mean, this guy's completely out of his mind. Yep, broad daylight. We're going to go over a couple of other cases on trails that happen in broad daylight. Hey, what's up, farmer? Good to see you. Oh my gosh, how many ads are they going to have? I'm going to have to find it somewhere else. I think they got me. Oh, here it is. Oh my goodness. Gives me the creeps. Let me bring it over here. There we go.
Pai nosso que está no céu, santificado seja o vosso nome. Venha a nós o vosso reino. Seja feita a vossa vontade. Assim na terra.
You see that? The dude was shot in the face. I don't think I can play too much of that. I don't want to get a hit on that one. Lorraine says they converted their garage as a neighborhood hangout. Yeah, I got some neighbors that like to hang out in the front yard and they're always waving. Me, I like to keep to myself. Or all of the above, Beach. Miss C.D. Isaacs, what's up? Welcome. I'm not sure. He's most likely in a mental facility, if I can remember correctly. And we did an actual live stream on him one time, a long time ago. Yeah, it's like that, like PCP or something. Okay, now this story's out of Carlsbad. It is a stabbing incident. Yeah, I remember that beach. Yeah, he was shot in the face. Like, what the frick? D says, yeah, dude was on Dr. Phil like 2 days later, and it's sad. You can tell he had no idea what he did. He drank a gallon of bleach and a gallon of tiki torch fuel, and that nearly killed him. Also, no drugs. Wow. What a crazy story. CJK says, it's great when you have great neighbors and can hang out a bit. Kids go to school with each other and are friends, but in my daughter's neighborhoods, it's quiet. You don't even see kids outside much. Yeah, here there's kids everywhere. My kids play outside too. My neighbors are cool. Minute amount of THC. That's what did it. It's the pot.
Police returned to the scene of a murder in Hosp Grove today. Welcome back. I'm Barbara Lee Edwards.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Today marks exactly 1 week since a 68-year-old woman was found stabbed to death on a trail. As News 8's David Goffredson reports, investigators are going on the theory that her murder was a random attack.
Carlsbad Crimes of Violence detective Ronald Dement spent Monday morning hiking the trails of Hosp Grove, looking for witnesses who may have been in the area exactly 1 week ago. A memorial of flowers and painted rocks has formed along the trail where a passerby found the body of hiker Lisa Thorborg on the morning of November 23rd. The 68-year-old had been stabbed to death. Police say blood was found on her face and underneath her head.
She was attacked out of the blue.
Yeah. The detective handed a flyer to neighbor Mike Cornish, who said he was not in the area on the day of the attack. Investigators initially put out a description of a person in the area they wanted to question, but that man has now been contacted, and the detective said it does not appear he's connected to the case.
Is there any DNA evidence?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So, yeah, we have a lot to do still, but it's just any...
He's like, I'm not telling you, boy. You know what I mean? No DNA. This guy's asking some
information that you have coming across, just let us know.
Investigators are going on the theory that Thorborg did not know her attacker, and it appears she hiked down from the trailhead off Crest Drive, just a few blocks from her home on Buena Vista Way.
It's unsettling and hard to believe.
He was smoking the tweeds. He must have been on them tweeds.
I walk here at least 3 times a week, normally in the mornings like this, around this time, and I've never seen any suspicious character.
Thorborg's body was found near the site of the
You're a
memorial,
suspicious character.
less than 150 feet from the road on the west side of Monroe Street. Carlsbad police have been handing out this flyer with photographs of the victim, hoping that a witness may have seen her 1 week ago today, Monday morning, between 10 and 11 a.m. in Hosp Grove. Carlo?
David, we see the work they're doing, handing out flyers, looking for any clues. Any official updates from Carlsbad police today?
There was no official update today, but the detective out there tells me they're working on perhaps releasing an update as early as tomorrow. And I can tell you from talking to neighbors around Hosp Grove, there are a lot of rumors flying around about this case, and it would be most helpful if Carlsbad police would put out something official.
All right.
Yep. So if you want to stop all the speculation and stay on track, you need to provide the pertinent information to the public. Like, there's no reason we shouldn't have seen that entire video by now. The unedited version when it comes to the Delphi case. That's my opinion. All right, because of time, we'll keep it moving.
But tonight it is a crime scene. Is normally a beautiful section of the Forbidden Drive along the Wissahickon Trail, but tonight it is a crime scene after a woman was attacked while running the trails in broad daylight. 2 suspects are now in custody, and police want to know why they did it. Action News reporter Christy Aledo joins us live from this section of Fairmount Park with more. Christy.
Well, Monica, Tanaya says she was running up this path when suddenly a group of guys began heckling and harassing her. And then out of nowhere, she says she found herself jumped.
I was out running. I can't remember too much.
Shit's messed up.
Visibly shaken and clutching an ice pack, Tanaya says her
mom's
assault
pissed.
happened fast.
One smacked my behind, and then another one came up and started hitting me. She called me crying, and I just came.
Tanaya's mother, Angela, didn't want to give their last names, says the 24-year-old often runs the trail along Forbidden Drive and didn't know any of her attackers.
She asked them why, and they jumped on her. Gave her a busted lip. Her eye is slightly black, and he called the cops.
Police say 4 boys were behind the assault that they believe was random. Detectives arrested 2 teens on scene. Action News was there as they carted them off in squad cars. Now, the incident has those who use this popular trail alarmed.
It makes me nervous. I mean, I like to run in a safe place, and it's daylight, and it's a beautiful area, and it's just a really unfortunate thing that happens.
But Tanaya's mother is grateful this didn't end worse.
I'm hurt. It happened to my daughter. I don't want her to be out here again by herself. That's all. And I just want everybody to be aware of what's going on.
They caught some of the guys
around here.
Now, police say there's no immediate motive for the attack, but again, this is a very popular trail that in some areas is secluded, so police are, of course, beefing up patrol, but they're also asking those who use it to be smart, be alert, and if you can, buddy up. Live in Fairmount.
Yeah, well, that doesn't always help. Buddying up doesn't always help, guys. Hey, Julia, rumor has it we haven't seen the best quality version of BG. If that is true, what would be the reason to not release it? Well, according to Holman, what he told Hannah Shakespeare, he basically said at some point in that video, you can see an attack. So I'm assuming that the bridge guy walked up to Abby and Libby and said, "You guys are coming with me. I need you guys to go that way down that hill right there. You guys are coming with me." And they're like, "What? And we're not coming with you." And then the gun comes out, and then they see the rage. Guys, get down the hill, because we heard Tony Liggett say, he basically advised us that, yeah, he had asked them prior, and it was as if they didn't listen to his commands. So he became angry. I mean, I can totally see him just being there, maybe drunk, already kind of out of his mind a little bit, feeling helpless about what happened to his stepbrother, his wife potentially not being around, his daughter getting married. I think for a father that could be stressful. Usually when your daughter's getting married, it's expected that their family will pay for the wedding. I think that's just the way it goes, right? But yeah, if they release that full video, I'm just curious. I mean, if you were to go on, take that exact phone and take a video with that old iPhone, I mean, you're going to be able to see somebody pretty clearly. So I don't understand what it was that they were doing. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right, because of time, let's keep it moving.
Police are searching.
I want to make sure we have at least 15 minutes of convo here, and I have about an hour and 15 minutes. So
police are searching for a man who they say tried to abduct a teenager right near the W&OD trail. News 4's Dominique Moody is joining us now live in Reston with the very latest from police. Dominique, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Jumi. That teenage girl, she was able to get away without physical injuries.
What's up,
And she
Bird Blue?
also was walking her dog here along on the trail. And get this is the latest incident, third latest incident since last Friday. I want you to take a look at this video that we were able to get last night. This shows the area where police were actually looking around at. And they also said that they were looking in this area after receiving a tip about a potential abduction. Now, police say a man tried to grab the teenager before she broke free, and the suspect ran away. Now, last night, police say they searched the area to try.
Beach Fairy, that's a good point. Was the video also, I think it was only filmed on Snapchat. So yeah, thanks for clearing that up. I kind of forgot about that for a moment. Yeah, that could be what was going on with the poor quality.
And find the suspect, but could not find him. Last week, a naked man grabbed a woman near the Fairfax County Parkway along the trail. There was also another report of a man exposing himself and assaulting a person near Ferndale Avenue. And police, they're really trying to find the people or persons responsible for these incidents. And the community, they are also on high alert. In fact, they contacted police yesterday.
Did you guys catch that part? There was a naked man on the trail trying to grab people. Oh man, if you want to talk about dangerous,
on
I hope
contacted
they got
police
this guy.
yesterday about a suspicious person that was actually walking along the trail, and police have yet to say if any of these incidents are connected. Back to you.
All right, Dominique, police are.
Yeah, I wonder if drugs and alcohol, play a huge role. We hear so many of these serial killers that were willing to kind of talk about their crimes and their motivations and let these profilers kind of into their heads. And a lot of times alcohol plays a huge role. Yeah, if we could lower that scrub ratio, that would be great.
Popular trail. A woman says she was choked by a stranger while on a walk. Cover 7's Jessica O spoke to her husband and joins us live tonight from Tacoma. Jessica, the suspect said something bizarre moments before that attack.
Well, she was carrying her Bible, Dave, and she told deputies the last thing she remembers is that suspect saying something along the lines of, "God can't help you now." This, by the way, happened on one of the trails here at the Sprinkler Rec Center. It's a very popular park, which is why that woman's husband now has a warning for others.
So my wife came
Look at
to
that
walk
trail.
the trails and read her Bible.
But this time, William Tennyson says his wife was randomly attacked, and he's worried there are more victims out there.
The person obviously knew what they were doing because she passed out relatively quick.
She told
Did you see the
William
guy
she
with
was
the
on one of the
guitar?
trails at the Sprinkler Rec Center Saturday with her headphones in when a man came up from behind her.
One hand around her mouth.
Did you guys see this guy?
She passed out. The person obviously
What
knew
the
what they were.
hell?
Victims out there.
The person obviously knew what
See
they were
that guy
doing
back there
because
walking
she
with the
passed
guitar?
out relatively quick.
What the hell?
She told William she was on one of the trails at the Sprinkler Rec Center Saturday with her headphones in when a man came up from behind her.
One hand around her mouth and one.
V. Marie Sleuth, did anything become of the two girls that were found from the foster girls' home? I'm sorry, I forgot their names. Svetlali Avalar and Cameron Myers. They're saying that they died because of their own actions. Extreme alcoholism, and then they drowned during a flash flood. Yeah, I have the autopsy and everything. I have the report. I was so pissed. I even have a contact now with the Maricopa County Sheriffs, and we have like this little arrangement. So hopefully I can work with them in the future. But yeah, I think those girls were murdered. I mean, it would be very easy to force them to drink alcohol and simply bring them out to shallow water and hold them under that water, or even just throw them in the water.
One hand around her throat.
He was horrified to learn she passed out, but it's what the man allegedly said to William's wife that's haunting him tonight.
Called her a Bible thumper and said, "God can't save you or help you now."
He doubts his wife was attacked because she was carrying a Bible, but deputies say it's possible, considering how rare attacks like this are in the first place.
This is not a serial deal. This is a very unique incident for that area. In fact, we looked and we haven't even had an assault there since January 1st.
I am so freaked out, really.
Women here say the report is alarming, even if it is rare.
I mean, I wouldn't go by myself. That's why I take my son or my dog. It makes me think that this place is not safe at all. And
Look at that trail. I mean, that looks like the Monon Trail, the Monon High Bridge Trail. Maybe more pine trees, but yeah, it looks very similar, right? Before they changed it up recently.
I come every day with my daughters.
We don't want people to be afraid of the area, but we want people to take precautions.
And William wants to warn others about what he says happened to his wife. Grateful that she's alive, but doubtful his family will ever return.
Hey, true
Not
crime.
until we get her concealed carry. Me,
Now
my
you're
concealed
talking, buddy.
carry. It's just going to take time, unfortunately.
You don't need to
There's
wait.
Damage done.
And he says, unfortunately,
God-given
his
right.
wife is still struggling to cope with this. Her phone, by the way, was also stolen during that attack. Her husband ended up recovering it just the next day right here at the park. But deputies, again, are still looking for a suspect.
Jeez. Hiding in plain sight, most likely, right? Okay, now here is another case that may be random.
Of the two females that were found out yesterday. The bodies have been positively identified as Abigail J. Williams, 13, of the Delphi area, and Liberty Rose Lynn German, 14, of the Delphi area. The two girls were reported missing on Monday, February 13th. The bodies were discovered about 12:15 on the 14th in the woods just east of town here by volunteers that helped in the search of the children after they were reported missing to the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Family has been notified. This is considered a double homicide investigation. No further information will be released at this time. We are asking for anyone to come forward who has information that were either on the Delphi Historic Trail yet there on
What's up,
Monday,
Chopper?
especially if they were near the Monon High Bridge.
Like
that they
Richard
might have
Allen
been
was?
Seeing somebody out there. They may have taken
Richard Allen?
pictures where somebody might be in that photograph. If they were out there doing that kind of stuff, we need that information. We would love to have pictures of that.
They did
I'd
get
have
it.
to say yes. I mean, we have nobody in custody at this time. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, there is somebody out there that did this horrendous crime.
So yeah, I mean, this if they would have cut out all of the weird pieces of information that they were putting out to the public the way they did, or the way they ran that investigation, they may have caught this guy much sooner. I don't know what they were thinking. True Crime says, I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri to see my grandson graduate. Awesome. From the National Guard Army Boot Camp. Oh, what a badass. Congrats. Yeah, it was a gut punch. And when you look at all these cases together, it seems like it fits right in with some type of random killing. You know, at that moment, seeing two helpless girls, and maybe he did go out there to hurt somebody, or he went out there prepared to. And when he saw his victim, he was going to get his power back. Hey, Sasha. We had a girl here in Australia killed walking her dog on the beach one afternoon. Such a normal, everyday things, and they get targeted. Yeah, it's like you just cross paths with the wrong person at the wrong time, and you're just not on your game. You know, you weren't thinking. You never considered the place to be dangerous. Like Lauren Heike from Phoenix, that is a nice upscale neighborhood where she was jogging, and there was just a couple apartment complexes kind of on the outskirts of this nice neighborhood, and that's where her killer lived. And the Delphi Trail, I mean, we've never heard of anything. People there were shocked. All right, guys, we got about 20 minutes to hang out. If you could please participate, we're going to go ahead and get going on our discussion here. The question is this a random killing? All of the information that we've tried to fit into this puzzle, they just don't fit. Yeah, they're interesting. Makes a great stack of flapjacks. There might be a little bit of butter on them, on the pancakes, but there's no syrup. You can stack it to the sky, and there's still no syrup. And that's what these conspiracy theorists and family blamers do. They stack and stack and stack until they convince themselves. I'm just glad that I learned a lot about how investigations are conducted and to stay away from that. You know, it's okay to go down a rabbit hole if you know that's exactly what it is. and you're tethered. You know, as long as you're tethered and you can get yourself out of there, you don't get lost down there. And we'll do that from time to time here. Thank you, Beach. Yeah, if you guys could go vote on that poll and get an idea of who I'm talking to. No Miss Buttersworth. Julia says, an interview with Doug Carter, I think in early 2022, when asked if the photo helped, he said, I'd rather have it than not, but it seems to be one of the most damaging pieces of evidence so far. Well, the investigators made it that way. At the beginning, they're saying, oh, you know, and I don't know if they were trying to trick him so that he would come forward. But sad thing is they had already spoken to him. But they had the media say, oh, he's not considered a suspect. We just want to talk with everybody that was out there, and he was caught on film. So I think the original reason that they didn't, show the entire video is because they just wanted to show some guy walking, right? I think that was going to be their strategy. We want to talk with this guy because they probably felt once they get him into the interview room, they could break him. Or they could maybe grab some DNA off of him while he's, in the office, or lie detector or something along those lines. But this is what the experts had to say about random or thrill kills. And I read it at the beginning of the video. Experts say thrill killers are motivated by the need to feel empowered, but they are not always loners or obviously disenfranchised members of the community. In Richard Allen's case, he was neither. He was neither of those things. He had a family, and he wasn't a loner. He played pool all the time and had friends. Even someone who appears to be successful can feel so powerless that they feel compelled to lash out and make a statement through murder. So that kind of reminds me too of the West Memphis 3, if the Terry Hobbs guy has anything to do with it, but there's not any real proof of that either. But he did state that he was fully aware that his wife was kissing another man just a few days prior to the murders of those 3 boys in West Memphis. So when you read this, motivated by the need to feel empowered, but they are not always loners or obviously disenfranchised members of the community. Even someone who appears to be successful can feel so powerless that they feel compelled to lash out and make a statement through the murder. Remember, they said that the Delphi crime scene was staged, almost presented. And what do we know about staging and signatures? We know there's only 3 reasons for it, right? And one of the major reasons is shock. He wanted to shock. Look what I did. I have the power back. I have the power, almost like God, life or death, right? I have the power to take that life. A person can appear outwardly successful to others, but for some reason, he may feel like a failure, said Jack Levine, director of the Brudnick Center on Conflict and Violence at Northeastern University. Maybe they feel like they've fallen short of their goal. Marriage, right? Can't afford to pay for my daughter's wedding. That'd be extremely frustrating. The one person you don't want to ever let down, right? Your baby girl. They don't feel like they're in control, and they erupt in a way that is some kind of sadistic thrill. So that's what it is. It's a sadistic. It is a thrill kill. These random kills, even though they're random, it's a thrill for them. They get an excitement from it. They're gaining their power back. The frightening thing is that some of them never talk about it. They never let you know it's coming. Yeah, so Julia says, makes me think maybe they weren't aware of Richard Allen at the time. Yeah, so they may not even known who this person was. Small town America may connect the families. Big whoop, right? Keegan's connected to all these families too. He was Facebook friends with Libby's ex-boyfriend. Cheeks says, "You know how I know it's not random? Anthony Shots. OMG, what happened to her? I was going to meet her yesterday and she never showed." Yeah, that's a pancake. There's no syrup on that. And I've stacked that pancake to the ceiling, but I can't put any syrup on it. Yeah, it's interesting. Would I be surprised? No. CJK says, "I always thought one was targeted by Allen, but now I'm not sure random or not. But they were chosen at least when he saw them and he didn't harm others. They're the same day." So yeah, she could have been targeted, but from that moment, right? Because we hear constantly that Abby never left her side. So if he tells them go down the hill, and he's fighting with Libby, and he attacks her or begins chasing her, maybe instead of Abby running away on her own, she gave chase after them as well. Ran up to him at the crime scene. So maybe that's what they meant by she never left her side. So if he did target Libby, he could have targeted her from that moment. There's triggers for these people. Chases her, and Libby follows, or Abby follows, or vice versa. And that could explain how they all ended up on the other side of that creek. He just wanted to attack one and just forgot about the other until she may have injected herself into the conflict there. Just a theory. I don't know. Beth says they also didn't want BG to realize they knew he had a gun. Yep, 100%. They didn't want to release that information because one of the aces that they were holding to the vest, right, was the .40 caliber shell. And another strange thing that happened, and this kind of leans to them already having their eyes on Richard Allen, which is just pure speculation. But as soon as people online started talking about a .40 caliber shell, he got arrested. So it was almost as if law enforcement was like, all right, the cat's out of the bag. We got to go ahead and act before he gets rid of that pistol. Let's go ahead and go for it. Everything we didn't want to do, we're being forced to do now. We were okay with a 6-7 year investigation as long as we could lower the risk during the trial, right? Right now, the trial is not open and shut case. There's going to be an uphill battle unless he makes a deal. Chopper says, when they came out with the Anthony Shots account at late night with the sheriff video, makes me think KK must be involved. See, and that's the key word, think. Makes me think, or in my opinion, we just don't know, though. Just don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised. Just because there's no syrup on our pancakes doesn't mean there ain't syrup out there. We try our best to look, with the tools that we have available to us as amateur armchair sleuths or whatever you want to call us, V says the cards are finally starting to fall in the Crystal Rogers case. I'm praying that whatever the game may be in Delphi, it will also soon fall apart completely, whatever that game may be. I agree. All right, guys, this is our 10-minute warning. Please participate in the poll if you could. And if you have any comments, now is the time to get them in the chat. Kim, what's up? They should have trail cams all over every trail, and they shouldn't put signs up warning people that they are there as a deterrent. The world has changed. Yeah, they should. But people shouldn't be stalking trails, but they do. So yeah, I mean, you're right. We all know that happens. Good point. Mumbling that Carter and others had him on their radar going back a few years before this arrest. I think so. You know, that's a whole nother pancake there. The theory that they already had their eyes on Richard Allen. Leslie's asking, Sleuth, have you heard anything from Ruckus about the staging of Abby and Libby's body? Why would he know anything about the staging of their bodies? Well, he is a troll. He's a little goat troll. Here, let's take a look. That's why he eats paper. Take a look at the sleuth footed. See, a little troll. Half goat. He's got them goat ears. Online chatter. CJK says, I think he's dark and those closest to him knew it. I don't know. These kind of people can hide. They can hide right in the middle of their own home, even from their own family. Yeah, welcome back, True Crime. Hope you're nice and relaxed from your vacay. If Anthony Schatz was going to meet her there and she never showed up, doesn't that mean he was there that day as well? Well, it makes it seem as though he was there that day. Was he? I don't know. Tattoo, what's up? I think he had a kill kit. Yep. I think is the keyword there. We don't know. I mean, we can't even see his face in the video. How are you going to see a kill kit? Marvel says this whole thing could literally be a Stephen King novel. I mean, those girls really lived that. Ooh, don't want to go down that road. Cheek says sometimes with pancakes, all you need is butter. Hell no. What kind of pancakes you eating, girl? What the? I need butter on every pancake, and then I got to drench it. Plus, I need some blueberries in there too. Maybe some sliced up strawberries. Yeah, butter's not going to cut it. Julie says, if I were KK and saw that this happened and I had nothing to do with it, I'd probably send that same message and attempt to, yeah. And the more and more I look at this case, that's what's happening. He knew he was busted because he recognized those girls. He said, those are the girls that I have been catfishing. And he may have even said that he wanted to go down there and meet them. That really just does. I mean, is it suspicious? Hell yeah. Would I be shocked? Hell no. Is it solid? No. Yeah, I go back and forth. But I mean, we did our best to try to make some kind of comparison, and we did what we were supposed to do. We used what law enforcement gave us. But I think it might be exhausted at this point. You know? But those who like to dig, please keep digging. You never know. Yeah, they don't talk much about the yellow stuff, huh? Yeah, CJK, the terror. If you ever try to put yourself in their shoes, I mean, not that you ever could even begin to imagine the pain and horror they went through. But I mean, even just attempting will leave a really icky feeling in your stomach. I have thought KK was involved, and I still think he's somehow involved. Stephanie, what's going on? The fact he attacked children makes me believe he's a pedophile. And I don't know if he targeted children because for sexual reasons. If he's searching for power, he could easily dominate two young people or an elderly, like that case that I presented. I think about the middle of the live stream, that elderly lady, somebody came behind her and choked her and then stabbed her. You know, I'm sure they targeted her because she was a little bit older. You know, they don't want any resistance. They don't want to get their ass kicked. Yeah, don't stack your pancakes too high. You start buying into the hype. That's when you turn into a family accuser. There's no substance there. Nothing. Not one fact. Just a bunch of bologna sandwiches. Is it confirmed that Richard Allen's daughter and son-in-law are state witnesses? No. But there's a rumor. There was a video put out about that rumor and something put on Reddit. So I'm not spreading these rumors. I'm just letting you guys know about them. Bogeys in the house. The crime was pre-planned equals he had a gun and a murder weapon with him. Yeah, I think he could have pre-planned an attack. Like, I'm going to the trail and I'm going to do something bad today. You know? But maybe he didn't know who that would be. I even have a suspicion that he might have been going out there to do something to himself. True crime and other stuff. When they had a press conference and said that they thought he was hiding in plain sight, I think they knew it was him by that time. Yeah, I speculate that that could be true. It's like he just wanted to appeal to any family members or friends who were privy to information or were present when he confessed. Kim says, I still think Libby looked a lot like his daughter. That could have been his trigger right there. Yeah, and I think it very well could be. You know, he tells him, go down the hill, and then he attacks Libby. She runs, he chases her, and then Abby follows. That could explain how they got across the creek. Bacon pancakes? I like bacon on my breakfast burritos and on my burgers, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be as well. The bacon. Hey, what's up, Richard? How you doing? Seems like law enforcement had to have Richard Allen on their radar. I speculate that they did. From the very beginning, maybe. Having a 40 caliber bullet as evidence, you would check everyone for ownership of a 40 caliber weapon. I don't know if you can just do that. You know, there's freedoms in America. I don't know if you can just go searching that information willy-nilly, but I'm ignorant on that, so I'm not sure. And we have discussed that as a possibility, but I don't know if that's something that they do. I haven't come across that in any other cases where they've actually done that in their investigations. Let me write that down. We should follow up on that. I've seen that brought up so many times. I've questioned that myself. See if that's something possible. And you got to remember, there's so many 40 caliber weapons. You know, it's not who owns a 40 caliber gun. You know, it could just be such a list. The list is probably bigger than the population of Delphi for Carroll County. Possibly, you know, it might not make sense. If the list of people who owns 40 caliber is almost equivalent to the list of the entire population of Delphi, it's like, what would be the point? Just had a big English pork pie and mustard. I love mustard. I ate breakfast, leftover hummus, because I didn't bother my wife this morning. I went for a walk by myself. She was sleeping in. She was snoring. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to make you hungry. All right. That's all my time today. So if you guys could please participate in the poll real quick. We're going to close that out and get out of here. Yeah, put butter on everything. That's how I cook my hash browns. Shit ton of butter. I make the best hash browns, by the way. I take my time. Vic. Who's Crime Night? I don't think I've ever heard that name before. Before you turn into a crime night? Yeah. Yeah, he's not a Freddy Krueger. He's just a sick man. Yeah, they were two, I wouldn't call them helpless, but, you know, they're two innocent girls. And there really wasn't anything that they could do. I don't care what anybody says or how strong Libby was. This was a grown man, you know, with that old man strength. I don't care how tall he was. It's ignorant to say things like that. This is truly amazing channel. That's why I always try to make it, because there's no bitching, especially after dark. You guys like to attack these folks. It's not worth it. It's like an itch on my foot. Sometimes I just ignore it and it'll go away. And if it doesn't, I'll scratch it. Yeah, I'm going to look into that. I'm glad you brought that back up, because I wanted to look into that, kind of see what the process would be. That I have a couple investigators that I reach out to, you know, for verification on techniques and what they can and can't do in their databases and what they have access to and what the Constitution might limit as far as their capability and their reach. So I did write that down. It's a good point. Hopefully I can find some answers for you. And if anybody out there is interested in that, like I am, and they want to look into it, shoot me an email, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. We will follow up on this, because I'm truly interested. You know, I'm just an ignorant person. Best way to undo that is to learn about it. Educate yourself. Kim, thank you. Well, I'm glad you're hanging out. Welcome. Put it down and walk away. I love IHOP. Chopper says hit the like button. If I were you, I'd listen. All right, let's go close that down. The poll. See where the group's at today. I'm watching the advertisement for my video. It's all urban carry holster. Apparently they know I'm pro Second Amendment. Oh, that's funny. Okay, the question is, was this random? 61% said no. In me, I'm not sure. You know, I lean the other way, but we got to be true to the information. %22 said not sure, and 16% said yes. So I think I'm more part of the not sure and leaning towards the no, it was not random. But it most likely was a random act, and everything else is just kind of like a coincidence. You're welcome, Julianne. Thank you for hanging out. It's always good to see you. Yeah, good luck to your grandson, True Crime. Shout out to you, sir. Congratulations. Be careful out there. Have fun in Georgia, young man. Salute. Yeah, they're innocent, completely helpless. Even if he wanted to go hands-on, they wouldn't have been able to do anything. Ignorant. Pretty sure that's how you spell it, too. At least that's how I spell it. Miss Thang in the place. Renee, what up? Shout out to Massachusetts in the building. True Crime and Farmer are with me. I'm in the 22% leaning towards no, it's not random. But the truth is, it most likely is random. Thanks, Miss Thang. It's fitting, isn't it? Thank you, Beach Fairy. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hit that like button on the way out. Replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment. We'll get back to you like I always do. Yeah, I wanted to say yes. I'm just not sure anymore. The more and more I do this whole YouTube true crime armchair sleuthing, the more and more I'm learning what I should be and should not be doing. If you're not learning and evolving, there's really no point. Thanks, Miss Thang. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. And the whole crew will respond and we'll get a conversation going in the comments section. Because I'm sure a lot of people are extremely convinced that others are involved, the girls were targeted, and there's just a piece of information that we don't have. But that's the thing, is that we don't have it. So we're going to spend some time going in other directions, and we'll come back full circle. And hopefully we'll have the answers before then. Oh, yeah. See, that's the problem, Vic. Random and Lone Wolf, it's boring. You know, conspiracies and drama and family blaming, that's great for your channel. If you want to do well and you want a couple, because there's more nut jobs out there than normal people at this point, you'll do great. Thank you, Farmer. The truth is boring a lot of the time. Yeah, and I think we're going to find that out in this case. that they should have had it solved in the first 3 days, or even in this, the next day when the dude came forward. Like, yeah, I was at the trail at the time the girls went missing. Okay, well, you're going to have to come down to the station with me. I got some questions for you. Done deal. Did that happen? No. Causes speculation. Why? Is there corruption? Thanks, Farmer. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see if we can link up a little bit later. Maybe we'll just do a quick check-in and hang out. I'm not exactly sure what's going on today with the fam bam, but I'll let you guys know if I can find some time. The clickbait bullshit. Breaking news. It was Kelsey and Doug Carter together conspiring. It's like, dude, I wonder if they would say this shit directly to the family members. Like, if I had Becky Patty on the show, I wonder if they would say that directly to her face. Fucking cowards. Well, we're glad to have you. All right, guys, that's it. I hate to leave, but I gotta go. Hopefully I'll see you later. Remember, hit that like button. It helps out. And it's just a click. Stretch out your index finger a little bit, kind of wiggle it, and then press down on the left mouse button. Click. High drama creeps. I mean, as long as you know that they're high drama creeps, shit, and you're not buying into the bullshit, drama's entertaining, unfortunately. And if they want to put themselves on display as creeps and weirdos and basically grown children, we can all laugh at them together. It's not like we did it. They did it. We're just spectating. Later, cheeks. Catch you on the flip side. Rusty bullshit. Putting sawdust in the muffler. Listen to that baby purr. That reminds me. What's that movie? Matilda? Danny DeVito. He's a car salesman. Dorian, hello. How could it be random if Richard Allen and KK were neighbors in a different town prior? Were they? I've been trying to follow that down. I couldn't find anything. sleuthintuition@gmail.com. If you want to provide those details, Dorian, I would like to see it. Because that would be extremely compelling. Telephone. Well, they might be tough guys in real life. But when you're a grown-ass man talking about fighting, it's kind of weird. When you got kids and shit. Like, what are you doing, man? Shit, I ain't fighting nobody. I'm in my 40s. I'm out of shape. Come at me, you get popped. Tell you that right now. Hit me in my hernia, shit, I might die. I ain't taking no chances. I got a family that I care about more than anything, and I'm not risking that for nobody. Take care, V. Lisa, what kill kit? Like, we can speculate when we look at the video, like, yeah, that looks like a kill kit. But come on, what kill kit? See, we got to be careful. You don't want pancakes with a lot of pepper. Or that's burnt on one side. Whole car made out of Bondo. Layers of tinfoil and shit. His knife and his gun? That's not a kill kit. He might carry daily and have a knife in his pocket. That's not strange, and that's definitely not a kill kit. You want to look at a kill kit? Go look at Ted Bundy. Go look at the BTK. That's a kill kit. But this will be continued. We'll kind of follow up where we left off here on the next Delphi live stream. We'll probably do that sometime in mid next week. Maybe Thursday. There's a lot of other things that I've been working on that we're going to cover, but at any point we can just randomly go live and talk about that. But I am out of time, guys. It's an hour and 30 minutes, and I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.